So, I've been messing around with a ton of new tech lately, and I've got to say some of the stuff coming out in the AI space is just mind-blowing. Like, we're talking about tools that are so powerful, so incredibly useful, that they almost feel like they shouldn't exist. You know that feeling? When you find a life hack or a piece of software that's so good, you feel like you've discovered a cheat code for life. That's what we're diving into today. These are the websites that are genuinely changing the game, whether it's for work, creativity, or just day-to-day tasks. We're going to break down 3 specific AI websites that have completely blown me away. These aren't just your average run-of-the-mill tools. These are platforms that perform tasks with a level of sophistication that feels like it's straight out of a sci-fi movie. They can write, create, and translate in ways that seem almost magical. And frankly, using them feels a little bit like you're getting away with something. It's that feeling of having an unfair advantage. And today, I'm sharing that advantage with you. So, if you're ready to level up your productivity and creativity, you're in the right place. We'll go through each one, I'll show you what they can do, and why they've earned a spot on this feels illegal list. And hey, if you find this kind of content useful, do me a solid and hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. It really helps the channel out. Alright, let's get into it. Alright, first up on the list is a name you've probably heard, but you might not realize the sheer depth of its power. I'm talking about ChatGPT. Now, at its surface it's a chatbot. You ask it a question, it gives you an answer. Simple, right? But that's where you'd be wrong. The level of nuance and human-like text generation this thing is capable of is what puts it in a league of its own. It's not just spitting out pre-programmed responses, it's understanding context, tone, and complex instructions in a way that is genuinely startling. Think of it this way. You need to write a professional email to a potential client. Instead of spending 20 minutes agonizing over the right phrasing, you can just tell ChatGPT the key points, the tone you want, maybe formal but friendly, and in seconds, you have a perfectly crafted draft. It's like having a world-class copywriter on standby, 24/7. This goes for everything from brainstorming video ideas, to writing code, to summarizing a dense 1,000-page research paper into a few easy-to-digest paragraphs. The time it saves is just astronomical, and it's the creative partnership that really makes it feel like a cheat code. I've used it to come up with different angles for a video script, to generate titles that are more clickable, or even to help me understand a complex scientific topic so I can explain it better. It doesn't replace your own creativity, but it acts as a powerful amplifier. It's like having a brainstorming partner who has read the entire internet and is ready to help you connect the dots in new and interesting ways. It's a tool that can break through creative blocks almost instantly. The reason it feels illegal is because the output is so consistently high quality. You can ask it to write a poem in the style of Shakespeare about your morning coffee, and it will do it. You can ask it to debug a snippet of Python code, and it will find the error and explain the fix. The versatility is just insane. It's handling tasks that, just a couple of years ago, would have required a team of specialists or hours of your own focused effort. Now, it happens in the time it takes to type a sentence. So when you really start pushing its limits, you see it's not just a fancy search engine. It's a tool for creation, problem-solving, and learning that is so effective it feels like you're operating with an unfair advantage. It's the kind of technology that makes you rethink what's possible for a single person to accomplish in a day. It's not just about getting answers, it's about accelerating your entire workflow, and that to me is where the real magic lies. It's a foundational shift in how we interact with information. Okay, moving on to number 2. If ChatGPT feels like having a genius writer in your pocket, then DALL-E feels like having a master artist who can paint anything you can imagine. This one is pure magic. The concept is simple. You type a description, a text prompt, and the AI generates a completely original, high-quality image based on that description. And when I say anything, I mean anything. The level of detail, creativity, and artistic interpretation it can achieve is just on another level. It's one of those things you have to see to believe. Let's say you need a thumbnail for a video. You could type a photorealistic image of an astronaut riding a horse on the surface of Mars, cinematic lighting. A few seconds later, you have 4 different unique interpretations of that exact scene. The texture of the astronaut's suit, the red dust of Mars, the dramatic shadows, it's all there. This isn't a Google image search where you're finding existing photos. This is creating something entirely new from scratch, something that has never existed before. That's a profound concept. The reason this feels so powerful, almost illegally so, is that it democratizes visual creation. For years, if you wanted a specific custom image, you'd need to be a skilled graphic designer, a photographer with a full studio setup, or you'd have to hire one. That's a significant barrier in terms of time, skill, and money. DALL-E just obliterates that barrier. Now, anyone with an idea can become a visual creator. You can generate concept art for a project, illustrations for a presentation, or just create beautiful, weird art for fun. What really gets me is the stylistic flexibility. You can ask for things in a specific art style. A cat sitting on a stack of books in the style of a Van Gogh painting, or a futuristic city skyline at night, synthwave aesthetic. It understands these artistic concepts and applies them flawlessly. It feels like you're collaborating with an artist who has mastered every style in history and is just waiting for your direction. It's an endless sandbox for visual creativity, and the only limit is your own imagination. So, the illegal feeling comes from getting this incredible, bespoke visual content on demand for virtually nothing. It's a tool that can provide infinite assets for creators, marketers, designers, and anyone who needs to communicate visually. The ability to instantly translate a thought in your head into a polished, compelling image is a superpower. It's changing the entire landscape of stock photography and graphic design, and we're only just beginning to see what's possible with this technology. It's pure creation at the speed of thought. Alright, last but definitely not least, we have DeepL Translator. Now, I know what you're thinking. We've had online translators for years. Google Translate, right? And yes, they're fine for getting the basic gist of a sentence. But DeepL is playing a different sport entirely. The quality and nuance of its translations are so far beyond what we've had before that it genuinely feels like cheating, especially if you're trying to learn a language or communicate with someone across a language barrier. What sets DeepL apart is its understanding of context and colloquialisms. Older translators often work on a word-for-word basis, which is why you get those clunky, awkward sentences that sound like they were written by a robot. DeepL's neural networks are trained to understand the entire meaning of a sentence, including the subtle idioms and cultural nuances, and then find the most natural-sounding equivalent in the target language. The result is a translation that doesn't just sound correct, it sounds. For anyone who works internationally, deals with clients or colleagues who speak different languages, or is just a language learner, this is a total game changer. You can paste in an entire document, a report, an article, a long email, and get a translation that is not only accurate, but also maintains the original tone and professionalism. It gives you the confidence to communicate without worrying that your message is being lost in a bad translation. It's like having a professional human translator at your beck and call. The reason it feels like an unfair advantage is particularly strong for language learning. You can use it to check your own writing, to see how a native speaker might phrase something, or to understand complex texts that would normally be above your skill level. It accelerates the learning process by providing a perfect model to learn from. It's like having the answer key to the test. You still have to do the work of learning, but it removes so much of the friction and frustration along the way. So, while it may not create flashy images or write entire essays for you, DeepL's power is in its precision and subtlety. It's a tool that breaks down one of the oldest barriers between people-language. The ability to read a foreign news site as if it were written in your own language, or to write a heartfelt message to a friend overseas and know they'll understand it perfectly. That's an incredible power. It makes the world feel smaller and more connected, and doing it so effortlessly feels like a secret I just had to share. So there you have it. 3 AI websites that are so incredibly powerful, they almost feel like they shouldn't be legal. From ChatGPT acting as your personal writing assistant, to DALL-E creating stunning original art from a simple sentence, to DeepL breaking down language barriers with flawless translations. These tools aren't just incremental improvements, they represent a fundamental shift in what we can create and accomplish with technology. They are force multipliers for our own skills and creativity, and the best part is they're accessible to pretty much everyone right now. The future we used to see in movies, with intelligent assistance and instant creation, is no longer just science fiction. It's here, and it's available through a web browser. The key is to start exploring them, to integrate them into your workflow, and to see how they can amplify your own abilities. Whether you're a student, a professional, a creator, or just someone curious about the future, these platforms have something to offer. This is just the beginning, and I can't wait to see what comes next. If you enjoyed this deep dive and found it useful, let me know in the comments which of these AI tools you're most excited to try. And of course, if you want to see more content like this, exploring the best of tech, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with someone who needs to know about these cheat codes. It makes a huge difference. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.